Hello, my dear friends. I hope everyone is doing fine. And today will mark the first video of this channel. And today we will do something very exciting. And we will model, first of all, we will have a sketch of an analog clock. And then we will actually code this in HTML and CSS and JavaScript. So let's see how it goes. So here we are using Adobe XD. It is a designing tool basically for mobile prototypes, mobile app prototypes, and UX UI design. But we are today using it to just sketch out our clock, how our analog clock should look like. So let's start. First of all, we would make a circular frame. I would not dive too much deep into XD because it's just for designing. And our actual crux of this video is the coding. So if you want, I can make separate videos about XD in detail. Now we will just make an make a circular frame. So this is good. Now we would give it a border and give it a color is gray, and also give it some drop shadow, and, and we will give y offset as 10 and blur as 35 pixels, and we would give it pure black color. So this would add a nice effect, which would turn this ordinary circle or ellipse tool into a proper 3D type of object. Now we would add different markers. Markers are hour markers, minute markers on the clock. So currently these are lines. Just draw a line and give it some border. And this is 1.5 pixel. And now I would make other lines. Then we would select this line and give it an angle of 30 degrees. And then again, we will look at this line and give it an angle of 60 degrees. Now this is nearly done. We would just copy and use symmetry to make all the markers. Now we have 12 markers, 12 hours on the clock. Now we want to make minutes, so just we will just copy this and give it an angle of 6 degrees because each minute is 6 degrees apart. And we would reduce the border to like 5 pixels. Okay, let's even make it like 3 pixels. Yeah, that sounds nice. That seems nice. So let's make another copy and now give it some more angle. As these are multiple of 6, so we will just simply multiply by 6, and then we will also give it we will copy paste copy paste and give it another angle. Now this these lines, these are actually the minute marks from one interval to another. So we will just group them and utilize the symmetry there, utilize their symmetry. We will just copy paste and flip. Now we have these two groups. Now we will copy these two groups, paste, and give them 90 degree flip. Now only this part is these parts are left. Okay, so we will just grab this group again and copy paste and give it an angle of 30 degrees. So this one is filled. Now again we will copy this group and copy paste and give it an angle of negative 60 degrees. So now this is finished. We have obviously this looks more like a bicycle wheel and not a clock. So we will just simply mask it. So we'll just draw another ellipse, and this will most probably fix all the problems. So this one is for the minute marks. And okay, so we will select all the hour hands and group them and name them for our own convenience. We will say hour marks. So, and these are all the minute marks. We'll just rename them. We will first group them and then we will rename them to minute. Okay, so this ellipse cover, we will just place our marks above this ellipse so that it doesn't interfere with the hour marks, and then we will just copy and paste another ellipse on top of it, and we will just shrink it a little bit like this. So the, we are doing this just to make the hour marks a bit more prominent, and then we select these two spheres and move their border. Now we can see that we have a nice looking clock with all the marks, hour marks and reference. Now we have to design the first of all, we have to design their different hands, minute hand, hour hand, and second hand. So first of all, we will design one of the, I think we will design our hand. So I think this one is a nice one. Let's shrink it a bit. Let's give it let's say 35 pixels and drag it down somewhere like in the middle. Yes, it doesn't have to be perfectly in the middle because we have a little bit length of it peeking out of the middle, and we'll just grab this and we will move this point a little bit inside, and again this point also a little bit inside, because so that we have one edge thinner than the other. So this is a nice needle-like shape. Just increase a little bit of its size. So we will give it a fill of black color, and we will give it a border of gray color, but we will give it 5 pixel width. So it would look like a needle. Then we would just copy and paste, and this one is a minute hand. We will just increase its length a bit, and suppose what's it supposed to be? Okay, so okay, this seems nice, and this length is nice, and we will just reduce its shadow to the 3 pixels so that it's easier to differentiate. Now we will just give it some rotation, something like that, and we'll place it somewhere. It would be easier to place them correctly if we have a pivot. But before that, let's quickly make the second needle. Okay, so we just, I think this one is good enough. Yes, this length is good enough. Okay, so give it a width of like 5 pixels. Yeah, that seems nice. Just zoom in and give it some more edges. Like we have just given it some roundness because this is a second hand, and let's centralize it vertically. Okay, so it's centralized, and okay, let's give it some properties. So its fill is gray, and its border should be black. Border should be white, 1 pixel, and it should also have some drop shadow, which is 2 by 5, seems fine, and we should give it black so that it's prominent. Now we will give it some rotation. Let's suppose this. Okay, this one is good. This angle, and we will just place it in some sort of a center. And now we would like to work on just pivot. So let's draw a pivot. Let's say it should be like 12 by 12. So maybe let's make it a little bit bigger. Like, okay, this one is good enough. So we just centralize it, center. And now that it is in the center, we can align our minute and our accordingly. This seems fine. This seems, yeah, this seems fine. So this is roughly a clock. Now we have to also add the numbers. We will use a text box, and This is a very nice font I found. So this works with the clock and it gives it kind of like a classical feel. So we will just copy and paste this same font styling and type our numbers. So here this is like you just have to align them properly. That's it. Nothing you can see. So I will just finish this and then we will resume. So we are done with the design. Now we would just add some background, which is very easy. We will just go and make a linear gradient background. First color is this one, and the second color is this one. So this makes a nice design. So this is what we would now just implement in HTML. So let's switch to our Visual Studio Code, and here we will start by just making a new folder. So we will go to divide place, and I'll make a new folder. This is the folder that we need, and now we are going to dive into it. First of all, we would make a landing page. So just add this index.html, and let's make the size bigger so that it's visible. I think this one is a nice, good size. Okay, so now before starting it, let's make some structure. So we will add styles folder and add scripts folder. We would also add fonts folder. Okay, so in styles, let's add style.css. Then in script folder, let's add scripts dot yes JavaScript file, and in fonts, let me quickly grab some nice font and add it. Okay, so I've done this behind the scenes, and now we have this font as well. Okay, so first of all, in HTML file, we'll just type exclamation mark. Now it would give us image abbreviation, which will give us a very short structure of an HTML page. So let's rename the title Analogue Clock. And then we would also link our style sheet and script. So this has been linked, but let's fix the path as well. Okay, so it has just given a default path. Let me fix that. We have styles, then we have style.css, and similarly, we have scripts and then script.js. And also for safe to be safe, we also add defer attribute. It means that should load the JavaScript file completely before moving ahead. Anyways, this is our very basic HTML structure. Now we would start working on CSS file. First of all, we would import the font that we have just placed, and we would give it a name. And this is the same name as it's given, ultra regular, and we would give it a path. The path is fonts ultra regular. Now we would give some generic properties for all the elements, which are very important. We have to give margin padding 0 and box sizing should be border box. This avoids a lot of headaches and weird margins that are automatically appended in HTML. Now we would just give body. Uh, okay, so first of all, we will give some styling to body. We have display flex, justify content center, align influence center. Okay, this is what we want, but we also have minimum height of 100 px, which means that at least 100% of the height is available for our working. Now we would just give it a linear background, linear gradient, and linear gradient we would 240 bottom, and we would use the same colors in which were in Adobe XD. So I'll just grab those colors and paste them here behind the scenes. So the first color is this one. Okay, and then I will also copy and paste the second color. Okay, so this is our background, and we also would like to give our font family, which we have just added, and also we would like to get font size, and which 4 should be good enough for our purposes. I would explain the font sizes later. Okay, so this is our body, and let's check it out how this page functions. Let me just open it in a browser. And okay, let me switch the view to the browser. Okay, so currently we have done this. We have just made a linear gradient, and we are just watching a blank linear gradient. Now we will start by adding some elements into our HTML. So we'll go back to the code, and we will write some markup. So this is a simple div, which we will call, which will give ID of clock frame. So we have a clock frame. Right now we don't add anything to into it, but just let's first make the clock frame. It would be very similar to what we designed, but in HTML and CSS terms. So first of all, we will give a position of relative, which means that we might have some elements inside this frame which require absolute positions of which make it relative, so that they don't go out of bounds from this element. And we don't need height. We have a nice property called aspect ratio, and we would give it a 1, which means that, okay, this is like a square grid. We don't need a background URL, but we need a background color. So we would give it a background color of white. And we don't need backgrounds color. We also don't need these things right now, because we just need black, white frame, and we have to have a border radius, and we have to have a box shadow. And for box shadow, we would use similar properties. We had Y offset as 10 pixels and blur as 35 pixels. And we won't overcomplicate things by doing this. We would just write black color. We need the black color. Okay, so I think let's refresh our page. We would go back to this page, and now we refresh, and we have this block. We also need to give it a border, similarly, where as in design. So we would give it a border of 30 pixels forward, and it should be gray. So gray is a recognized color in CSS, so it's not a problem. Let's go back, and now if we refresh, we can see that our frame is done. Okay, so we have completed the frame. Now let's get back and now start working on the markers. So, okay, so we will make a group. We would call it with a class of marker, and we would also give it a subclass of our marker, and then we would also give it a class, an inner class, which is called marker inner. So why are we giving this an inner class? I will explain just in a moment. Okay, so first of all, let's start working on a market. We have a market class, and we would just we would give it absolute position, and its width is 20 pixel. Yes, it's nice. It's good. It should be 20 pixel. Let's reduce it a bit. Let's say it should be 10 pixel. And aspect ratio, no, we don't need aspect ratio. We don't need border radius. And we have to have height. Height should be 100%. And left should be 50%. We are going to align it horizontally. And translate should also be 50%. Yeah. But we would come back to it later. This just means that align it horizontally. And background color, yeah, it should have background color black. And these are, I think, pretty much the properties that we need for now. Let's see. Okay, let's check it out how it looks in the browser. Okay, so this is what we were expecting, a straight line. Now we also have an inner element. We would just make it so that it masks this base area. We would give it some height, about 90% of the height, so that and it would be in white color, so it will mask it, and this will appear as the marker for ours. So that's it, and I feel that it is too much. So let's reduce with like let's give it a bit of 6 pixels. That's good, and also I think 2 pixel width is 7.5 pixel. Okay, and now I will also work on marker inner. So marker inner also has position absolute. Its top should be 50%. Its left should also be 50%. It should. This is the element that we need to be. We need to center, and its width should be more than its parent's width. So it should be like 10 pixels, and its height should be 95% of the of its parents. Its background color should be white. Yes, that's absolutely right. Now let's see how it looks. Let's go back to the browser, and okay, so here we are, and let's refresh. Okay, so there is something off. Let's fix that. Yeah, we didn't apply transform, so we have to apply transform as well. Transform. Yes. So this will ensure that it's in the proper place. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, now as you can see that this masking has made two our markers easily. Now we would just make the pairs of other pairs. So this is one pair, then we are also have to make five other pairs. Okay, so let's get back to the HTML. And now we would just make more pairs. So we have to make five more, two, three, four, five, and six. So these are our markers, and there are many ways to do it efficiently. We can add a subclass, and then we can give it a separate rotation. But I found a very elegant method. Let me share this with you. We can just add a property in style, and we can give treaties as an index. This index will serve as a multiplier for our rotation. Let me show you what I mean. So, so if I can count correctly, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so here in our styling, we would just come here and we would say marker dot order, and here we would apply the transform as translate. This would be same, and we have to translate it a little bit back, and then we have to rotate it by 30 degrees, but we cannot rotate each and every element as 30 degrees. We have a variable. We would just calculate this variable, and okay, so this means that get I and multiply it with 30 degrees. So whatever the value of I would be, we should multiply it by 30 degrees, and that would solve our problem. Let's see if this works. Let's go back to the browser and refresh. Okay, so these are all our numbers. Okay, so suppose this one has value of I is equal to 1, and when this calculation is ran, it calculates 1 into 30 degrees, so it rotates it by 30 degrees. Then this one has 2, So 2 into 30 is 60 and so on. That's why it is working like a magic. So let's get back and we have solved one problem. We have made the hour markers. Now let's make minute markers. Minute markers. We also you can observe that we didn't have to make 12 hour markers. We only had to make 6. Similarly, we would also make only half of the minute markers. So we would just rename this class to minute marker minute, and I would give it index of 1. We would start from 1 and let's. Okay, so we already have the styling for a minute. We would just need some this line, this class. We just need to update it. We would update it by. We would first of all specify the width. So width should be less than the our marker. So if our marker has 7.5, we should make it 4 pixels so that there is a prominent change. And also its height should be different. The marker inner. Okay, so we will grab marker inner later. Now, and as we know that minutes are 6 degrees apart, so we will just multiply it by 6. And also there is one more property that we need to grab, which is, okay, so we will just need the dot minute and then grab marker inner, and its height should be more than that. Its height should be like 97%, because minute markers are supposed to be small. So let's see if this works. We will just go back to browser and refresh. Okay, so see, we have got 2 minute markers. We have made the inner as 97% height, and we have applied the properties and rotation. Now we just need to add in the markup, and it would automatically sort this out. So we will just we have to be careful with the indexing here in I. I will just explain as well. So this is 2, 3. Okay, these are 4. So these 4 would be between 12 and 1. So, and we don't need the 5th one because it and our marker is already there. So we won't do some extra work. So next batch of minutes would be from 6, not 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Similarly, we would just copy paste and make batches of 4 minutes. So the next batch would be from 11, 12, 13, 14. So just select 4 of these and carry on this process. So this one is 16, 17, 18, 19. So this one is 21, 22, 23, and 24. And finally, our last batch. This one is 26, 27, 28, and 9. So let's get back to the browser and refresh. Now we can see we have hour markers and minute markers all placed correctly, with correct angles. Let's get back to markup, and now what we need our minute and second hand. So we would need that for plus minute and we will get hour. And also, I would like to give it an ID because it would be helpful when we are later trying to animate it in JavaScript. So I would give it hour. Similarly, we would have and minute. and copy paste for second one. And this one is for second. I think the second hand is much better because second hand sounds like something else. Okay, now we would also add another one class which will another project. So let's make this hand. It's going to be a little bit complicated, but let's sort it out. Okay, so hand is we have hand as position as absolute. We don't have to have a top property. We have to have a bottom property. We have to have left of 50%. Its transform origin should be 50 and 80%. We need it to be a little bit. We need slightly of we need some small part of it off the center as well. So we need about 20%. So we have given 80% vertical position as a center point. So in transformation, we would use that. Also, we would like to add a property called rotation angle here. Uh, we just are giving it a value of 0. This would ensure that when we are rotating it, we can use this property to rotate it properly. So right now we will not use it, but it would come in handy. So we just multiply rotation angle with 1 degree, and whatever the angle is, it would convert into proper units and it rotate it. Its background color is black, and it's we don't need any border radius, and that's for the hand, and also for our now we have width of 15 pixels and height of 40%. Now I think our hand should height of 30%, and we don't need border radius, but we do need a border. We need a border of 5 pixels solid gray. Let's see how it looks, and then we can proceed further. And one more thing, we also need another property called flip path, because in design we made one edge smaller. So we would use polygon, and I would give some points of polygons, which are pairs of points, 30% and 0%. This is top left corner, then we have 70% and 100%. 0%. This is top right corner, then your bottom right corner, and now and similarly we have bottom left corner. So this encloses our figure, and that's this will ensure that our hand is styled properly. Let's go into the browser and refresh. Okay, so what's wrong here? Okay, let me fix. There is something uh, here. Okay, we have our markers. Let me fix this, and let's get back. And so I fixed the error because basically we were using the same class name dot hour, and in marker we also have an hour. So I had to properly qualify its name. Yeah, I've added the dot in as well. So this one seems to be fixing the problem. Now let's get back to browser and see. Okay, so this is how it looks. This is our hand, and we can see that it is slightly off the center. This is what we wanted. Now we will quickly add the minute hand as well. So we will just copy this code. This one is going to be minute. It has width of it is slightly less width, let's say 10, and its height is a bit longer. And it has 3 pixels of border, and width are the same. Then we'll also let's style the second hand and seconds. We have just Okay, so we will have like 5 pixel width and 42% of height, and we don't have we have 1 pixel border and it's white, and we also have background. We don't have a clip path, but its background color is gray, and it also has a top shadow, box shadow. So we have to give it a box shadow of 0.2 pixel is its y offset, and 5 pixel is its blur and the black. So let's see how it looks, and let's get back to this. Okay, so let's refresh, and we can see that we have multiple hour, minute, and second hand. Now we need to make a pivot. So let's make a pivot. Pivot is very simple. Give it. So this is pivot, and its position is absolute, and don't need padding. We have absolute top, left, and this, and we also need some width. We can give it a width of like 12 pixels and aspect ratio of 1. And also we need to give it border radius of 50% so that it's round. Border radius on 50%. So let's see how it looks. Let's get back to the browser and refresh. Okay, so where is pivot? We don't see any pivot. Let's get back and see where is. Okay, so this is our pivot class, and why is it not showing? Let me fix that and let's get back. Okay, so it was nothing is we didn't specify a background color, so we have specified the background color, and now I need to go back and we just refresh. We can see that we have our nice digital pivot. Now we are nearly done, but just need to add numbers. So let's get back and add numbers. So okay, so here we would follow the same pattern that we had earlier for our markers. We would write numbers, and we have two numbers in one div. So first one is 12, 16 pair, 12, 6 pair, sorry. And from then on, we will move forward. Okay, so we will just come here and we will write numbers. Okay, so its position is also absolute. And we have to have height as 100%, left as 50% as always, and transform is going to be 60%, and sorry, it should be translated. And we also have to give it a rotation, and rotation would be similar. Mm, we'll just calculate the index and multiply it by 30 degrees. Similarly, okay, so we have to have display of flex. We have to align item center, but we don't have to justify them in center. We have to justify in space between, so that one number is at one end and other number is at other end. We don't have to have any color. We don't have to have any text shadow. Okay, so this would make sure that all the numbers are spaced properly, and we also have to give this style, and This will be similar to what we have done previously. So because this doesn't require any rotation, so angle is 0. Okay, so let's get back and see how it looks. Let's refresh. Okay, so there is something wrong. We didn't get the proper style. Let's get back and fix this. So we have numbers here, and we have numbers here. Position is absolute. Let me fix that and resume. Okay, so there was an error. I didn't specify the variable, so we have to specify the variable. Now let's try to see what it looks. Okay, so what seems to be the problem? Let me fix that. Well, fix the bug. Bug was here. The brackets were not properly closed. So let's get back and check it out if it's fixed. And when we refresh, okay, we can see that these are properly aligned in the center. Now we will just repeat this process and make other pairs of numbers. So let's get here and make other 5 more pairs. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so first one is 12, then 12, 6, and 1, 7, then 2, 8, then 3, 9, and then 4, 10, then 5, 11. And also we have to update these indexes as well. 3, 3, 4, 5. So this will make sure that we are correctly getting the results that we want. And now let's refresh. And we can see that all the numbers have appeared, but they are also rotated because we have applied this property on all of the data. So this is a very easy fix. We can get back and we can come here and we can grab the span, the numbers span, and we can give it transform, rotate, and we can give it reverse rotation. This one was negative, this one was positive 30 degrees, so we will give it negative 30 degrees. When we will apply this, we will see that it has been fixed. So let's see. Now it has been fixed now, but there is a new problem that these numbers are very close to the edges, and so the markers are not properly readable. So let's get back and fix this as well. This is a very easy fix. We can just add some padding. We can give them 20 pixel and 10 pixel. So 20 pixel is horizontal and 10 is vertical padding. So we will go back and see if this problem is fixed. Let's refresh and we can see that numbers are a little bit closer and now this has been fixed. So this marks the closing of our all the design things. Now all the elements have been designed and they are properly placed. Now we'll work on functionality, which is in JavaScript. So we would just jump to JavaScript and first of all, we would get hour, minute, and second hand because these are the only elements that have to rotate. So our hand is our hand. So we will get our hand, then we will get minute hand, and we will also get second seconds hand. So these elements we have already kept. Now we have to write a function which is called update clock. So okay, this is a good enough name. And we have to calculate the ratio of each elements. For example, the seconds ratio means that how much of the minutes, how much of the seconds are being rotated in this clock. Then we have minutes ratio. We would get seconds ratio added to minutes, and then we divide it by 60. So this will give us the contribution of seconds, currently how where the needle is pointing. Similarly, we will get the minutes and we divide by the second one is divided by 60 to get the minutes. And the minutes is also added to hours and divided by 12 to get the hours contribution. Now we have got these ratios. We just have to rotate the element. So we will write another function called rotate. Apply rotation, I think is the proper name. So we will get an element and we will get rotation ratio. So we will just see get elements, its property, and we have this property named as rotation angle, which we have specified here in the hand. So we just copy this and we will just paste this here. And that's pretty much it. We just have to call this function apply rotation. Hour hand, and then we have minute hand and then second hand. So, but how would we call this function? We would call this function by calling set interval. So we would just call set interval, and in set interval we specify that this function, call this function every second. So when we are done with this, let's go back and let's see if our clock is going to work. So press enter, and now you can see that the clock has started to work. So this is a very simple and straightforward tutorial on how to make working analog clock in JavaScript. In HTML, we're using CSS and JavaScript, and we have gone through the process of designing. Then we have written some Markdown. Then we have also written CSS, and then finally we have written some JavaScript. So now this clock is functional, and you can also get the code from the links in the description. I have updated my GitHub repository. Give me your feedback, and if you like this sort of content, please feel free to subscribe and give me a like. Thank you and take care.